So, hello everybody, great to be here. I'm really honored that I was invited, so thanks for the HelSec for having me here. It's great to see all these active cybersecurity and information security communities to build up and be so vital in Helsinki, and it looks that there's going to be at least 2 great talks today, but hopefully this one is great as well. And it feels good to be here together with my epic fellow CISOs. I've been watching how the HelSec community has been building up, and I never thought that at one day I would be talking here. So this feels really great, and thank you for watching and having me here. I think there's going to be great storyline today, and we will start these CISO talks with my talk, which is all about my career story. So let's jump into that one. So my name is Henri Heinonen. Nice to meet you all, and I'm working in Aktia Pankki, and I have been there under 20 years now. And I've been CISO since 2018. I live here in Helsinki, and educational background, I'm Master of Engineering. And something about myself, so I'm a novice amateur photographer, and I have to emphasize for the words novice and amateur, just learning, having my first courses, but I thought that it would be nice to have something to balance all the work-related activities and stuff like that. So that's new hobby for me. Why am I talking here today? Well, I am talking about myself or the career path or career journey or the adventures that I've been having on my way to the CISO office. So hopefully I can make this somehow interesting to you guys, and I hope that you get something out, perhaps some ideas for your own career ideas or something like that. So the title was one way to end up in a CISO office. So what do I mean by ending up? Is it really so that it's something that just happens, or what does end up mean? And we had these virtual peer discussions in a one security related community, and actually after a little discussion it was revealed that actually quite many of us somehow ended up into the position, whether it was some sort of leading or management position in information security or in the information security field as a whole. So how do you end up in the position like this? And here are some examples. Maybe they are true, maybe they are not, but I think they are. First of all, speaking out loud in the wrong meeting. So if you don't know how to keep your mouth shut, this is something that might happen. And if you have ideas, hey, I have an idea how this could be done, and based on that, you might end up in a CISO office. If you manage to say that this sounds interesting, then perhaps somebody in the management committee thinks that you should be held accountable for this area and stuff like that. But the best one that I get to know was some sort of false information in the job interview. So during the job interview, there was nobody mentioned anything about CISO position or stuff like that. But then on the first day of a new job, the guy was informed that, hey, by the way, actually you are the CISO, and here's your team, so have fun. So by ending up, I really mean that some of us has ended up in this position. So is the CISO office like a place where you can get in, but you cannot get out? So you are trapped in that in that office, and then you have to figure out what to do. Well, of course, it's not like that always. Of course, there's like another perspective. There are people who have consciously sought to become a CISO, and that's like another way to come here. And it doesn't matter actually how you manage to get yourself in the CISO office, but there are like things that they are common with the CISOs, no matter what the path has been. And first one that I listed here was the community-minded, and by that I mean that the CISOs, they seem to want to defend their communities or organizations where they are working. So there is some sort of like desire to do things right. And another like shared topic is passion. So it's like perhaps they don't trust that somebody else is doing the job with the same love and care, but there is some sort of like passion to defend perhaps like the smaller ones and make sure that like security related matters are taken into considerations. There's some sort of like desire to do good. And then there is like resilience, and we are not talking about like cyber resilience here, but some sort of like willing to be repeatedly talking about the same things, probably with the same people over and over and over again. And you have to have some kind of like thick head to do that. But I think that is something that needs to be done, and I feel like it's not like that like nowadays so much anymore, because people are listening now. You have like many ways to get your message through nowadays, but of course there's always like new bunch of people who like need to be educated, and it's our job. We have to be the ones that have the willingness and resilience to make that happen over and over again. And when you have the passion and you care about your community, then you are willing to do it. So how then did I end up as a CISO myself? Well, I never actually thought that I would be a CISO of a listed company. It never was like like a goal for me. But when there was an opportunity, when the opportunity arose, I was definitely ready to accept the challenge that I was facing. So I have been working with security related things all the time. I have been working in Actia, and I think it was 2018 when the organization realized that actually all the people directly working with information security, they had left. So there was nobody to guide the information security related activities or stuff like that. It doesn't mean that, of course, we had skills. There are a lot of like skillful people in the company, in the IT, also in the business side and stuff like that. But nobody was like watching it from the higher perspective. So then I found myself like creating the profile and writing the job advertisement for the CISO role. So it was my task to make sure that we will find a people that's or a person that would fill those needs. And as per our like normal process, the role was first like it was in internal application. There is like 2 weeks time when somebody could internally apply for the job, and somehow the idea of the position and idea that somebody else would do it started to like bother me. It bothered me a lot, and I thought that I have like ideas and vision how the matter should be handled and how we could really take huge steps in information security or cyber security, if you will. So what could we do, and how could we like improve our activities? So after a week, I went to see the member of the leading committee, who was like responsible for getting that profile and position like fulfilled, and I asked from him is there any applications internally, and he did take a look at me and said that no, but I think we have one now, so please shut down the door and we have to talk. So I think I fell into the category that I have an idea how this could be done, and now I'm here. Well, what it is like being a CISO, this is not like complete list, of course, and I won't go into the details, but here are some of the aspects that are related. And first of all, from my point of view, it's like the organization has the risk appetite, and everything is connected to that one. So it's like being a CISO is making sure that the risk appetite is understood, and that the business or the company is making risk-based decisions, and that's like into the focus. So from my point of view, or how I think about this, is that the CISO organization, so my team, we are there to help the rest of the organization, to help others, and make sure that they will like succeed. So we make sure that they have all the necessary information so that they can make risk-based decisions. So my team and the information security team, we are not there to blame, or we are not there to punish. We are there to make sure that everybody has necessary skills and necessary knowledge to do their job in a secure manner. But yeah, I have like pinpointed here like 3 different areas. First of all, being a CISO means that you have to be like business oriented, and we could talk about this for the whole evening, but this is like the main thing here. So from the information security or cybersecurity point of view, you also need to have a vision, and you have to see I know it's stupid phrase, but you have to see the big picture, or you have to have like a plan for the big picture. And as I said, it's risk-based decisions, but always it's so that the business decides. We are not there to decide, but we are there to help them to make like risk-based decisions. And like everything, anything else, it's same here. So it's about communication. You usually never like over communicate. So it's communication between different stakeholders, and then it's really necessary that you speak their language. So if I'm going to speak with developers or technical teams, I have to use different language that I would be using with like the management or the top management or the board of directors. So you have to be like the bridge between these worlds and able to speak with everybody. And then I put it under the communication here because this is like one slide and try to cover as much as possible. It's about the communication is about building like security culture and nurturing the culture. And this is really something that is really close to my heart, because I see the information security, it's like human-centered thing. The technology is there to help us, but it's all about the people. So in that sense, the culture is in the center of every action or activities that we do. And then it's a matter of like skill set. You kind of, or I think it this way, that you have to like make a decision that if you are generalist or a specialist. And my background is a technical specialist, but I see myself nowadays more like generalist. I have to have like understanding of all the areas of information security, but I have to leave the actual like the substance or stuff like that to the real specialist, because I don't have like, it's not, I don't want to micromanage. So let the guys with the capabilities do their best, and it's my job to make sure that they have the environment is such that they can do their best. And in that sense, being a CISO means that you have to identify the required skill sets and build your dream team. And of course, the team might be internal, it might be external, including consultants or service providers, but that doesn't matter. You have to recognize what kind of capabilities in the team needs to be, and then somehow you take or put them into the mix, and then you have your dream team. And then something that since I come from the like specialist background, being a CISO means that the world is not black and white anymore. So there's not right and wrong. There has to be always compromises, and you have to be, that is something that you have to learn to do. So I think that has been one of the hardest parts, making sure that all the aspects are like taken into consideration, but it helps when you think about that it's your job to pinpoint all the relevant information, and then it's actually the business who decides. But yeah, then a few words about my career path as I promised. And as a youngster after the high school, I had like 3 possible directions where to go. I really liked radio, and actually in the elementary school there was this small internship or whatever, and I did it in a local radio, and I really liked that one. So that was like one of my options, and another one was theater or acting, because I had been as a hobby, I had been in theaters, and also I played drums. So in acting scene or theater, I could combine those both. And then there was like technology. So these 3 were on the table, and I had to figure out that what I was going to do. And I don't know how, but engineering me took over, and I chose the technology. And yeah, it was a bit boring because it seemed to be the safest choice, but actually it has been really fun. And I think the two other options have been like, it has been there has been a lot of help for the things that I do nowadays, that I have that background, because like giving these presentations or performing or anything like that, it comes by nature. So but yeah, I chose the technology. And in this presentation, I wanted to pinpoint a few highlights from my career that are not directly like related to the information security. And my first job, it was like there was no options. This one was mandatory, and that's because I come from a little village from the center of Finland, and my parents or our family had a little farm. It was like a side job, or yeah, side job, because my parents, they were working outside of home. So for some sort of extra income or something like that, we ran this little farm, and of course, being the oldest kid in the family, I really had to help there. So I did a lot of different things, and of course when you're from the countryside. So first job that I have or had, which was like outside of the family, was the farm next door. So I was working in 2 farms at one point. I think I was like 15 or 16 years old, and the neighbor is like 50 meters from my front door. So doing a lot of like farm related activities during those years. But I think that I still learned something that I can use today, because when you're running a farm, there are these tasks that are repeating all the time. There are tasks that are repeating like daily, and then there's like task repeating at least annually. So that is something that you have to do when you are actually working, or at least when you're working in a bank. But I think if you're working in the information security, you have the annual clock, you have the things that you have to do annually, you have something that you have to do monthly or quarterly, and there are activities that you have to do weekly or daily. And actually, it doesn't matter if you are working in if you have a small farm or if you have a bigger farm, you have to have all those like same tasks. And I have there is like similarity to the regulated like industries like financial sector. So whether you are smaller bank or bigger bank, from the regulation there comes activities that you have to do, and the size doesn't like really matter. But yeah, I learned something through those years, and one was of course that you shouldn't be afraid of work, and another thing was that I am really not a like morning person, because you had to wake up early to go and feed the animals, and that was always really tough for me. Yeah, then at one point, actually I was founding member of a stand-up club, and it was quite successful club in the middle of Finland, and I think I was performing on stage at least once, but I think that twice. But I quite soon realized that it takes too much effort, and it wasn't like really for me. But it was, as I said, it was quite successful club, and actually I think Chris Salminen had like first gigs in there. Not maybe she had like 1 or 2 before that one, but I'm sure that Ismo Leikola had like first performance ever on stage doing stand-up in that club. So great names came from there. So it was really fun. I mostly took care of the website and the ticket reservation system and stuff like that. But I was quite many times present on the venue when we had those shows, and there I like learned that no matter how easy something looks, you really have to be well prepared. Stand-up might seem to be really easy, but those guys they do a lot of work to make it appear such an easy thing. And another thing was that of course that laughing is really important, and laughing, it unites people. So I think it's important that no matter what you do, you should have fun when you are doing it. Then some like other adventures. Which one should I pick first? Probably the like beam drummer. I actually was paid for drumming when I was, I think, 16 or 17, something like that. So I was playing drums in I think the Schlager band is the correct word, but yeah, like old traditional Finnish dance music, and the dance music here, not like EDM, but you know, humppa and jenka and stuff like that. And I really never like, when something happens, you don't perhaps appreciate it as much as you should. But when I look back those days, I was a young kid, 16, 17 years old, and all the other band members, they were like 50, 60 or 70 years old, like old mates, really talented. And there I was playing with them, and it was such a like great time. I don't think we had that many gigs, but I got paid, so that's why I'm listing it here. But of course, learned something there also. So I learned that it's important that you listen to more experienced people, but of course you have to dare to bring your new ideas or fresh ideas to the table as well. At some point, I was a summer trainee in a company which assembled like power electronics. It was like really routine-based things. Every day you were doing the same things, putting those components to the board, and it was frustrating for me. I learned that like something like that, working in a factory, it's not for me. I need to have a different kind of challenges, and I have to be like, I have to use my creativity and stuff like that. At some point, I was summer trainee in Finavia, parking and landside traffic, so pysäköintitalo in Finnish. It was one of the like best places I ever worked. The whole organization, it's like a city within a city, and that was like a first experience where there was like this close working community. The team was really great, and I realized that my superpower is like sleeping, because no matter what shift I was on, I always fell asleep on the bus on the way home. So I learned that one over there. Then I was cleaning the ships. It was during my studies, and that was like I think I was in the company like 4 years, and it was also a great time. I started as a cleaner, but I think within like 2 or 3 weeks, I was a team leader, making sure that one part of the corridor gets done in a time. And at some point, I was in charge of the whole floor, and little after that, the company had a new contract with another ship, and then I was responsible for the whole ship. And at that point, I had like 120 employees, and that was quite huge for a quite young guy. I think I was 20 years old or 21. And there, of course, lessons learned from there. Time is a limited resource. You have to manage the time and take out of most of it. And it was a ship called Finiet where I started, and I really liked that one because it was on the dock only like hour and a half. So it was really, it was like an exercise. You had to be like running all the time. And there you have to like make these decisions really quickly. So I learned that one, and also that it's all about the people, because we have to be quite united, and everybody had to know what to do to be able to finish in time. Because actually the Finiet, it after the hour and a half, it just left. So if we weren't ready, then you would stuck into the ship and go to the Tallinn at that point, I think. So yeah, and also, yeah, I learned also like the harder aspects of like working life, because when you have that many people, then you have to like terminate employment contracts, so laying off people, and that was quite harsh at some points. But I also realized that's part of my job, and then I just have to be capable of doing it. Then like the journey in a timetable, and actually we have been looking those fuzzy years of study or the time before that. in the previous slides, but the important thing here is that I don't like cross-country skiing. And that's because I had this terrible defeat in a cross-country ski competition when I was 5 or 6 years old. And then it repeated in the elementary school. So now we have dealt that one, so we don't have to talk about it anymore, but it has to be there. But yeah, working into the ships and into the airport, it was the fuzzy years of study. But after I graduated from the studies, I quite soon started to work in Actia, and actually all the security related like experiences or how to become a CISO, it happened in Actia. And I've been involved in a lot of like great projects. Some of those took years, some of those took weeks or months, but that's where I like learned other things. We were building up Splunk environment and web application firewalls and building up NetBank and Core Bank and all the architecture and network segmentation kind of things and stuff like that. And I wouldn't be here without all the colleagues that I had during those years and still have. So I feel like I haven't learned in schools that much, but learning by doing and learning from the colleagues. I've had a great teams and my current team, they are like really great, and I learn every day something. So of course the journey could look something else. It might be that there would be like many companies, but for me there was always something new coming behind the corner. So staying in one place and actually seeing in the same time how Actia as an organization has been like growing up, it has been really great stuff. But yeah, I have been I started as a system specialist. At some point, I became a team lead in network and Unix team. Then I was building up this application platforms team, and at that point I was like IT manager, and all the time, all the activities were somehow like connected to the information security, whether it was like managing or hardening and maintaining Linux environments or LDAPs or web application firewalls or anything between. So like really technical background, but I think it was in the point of the application platforms when I realized that the team is so much better than I, that I just have to focus on managing how everything is going and make sure that the guys with all the knowledge, they are the like the subject matter experts, and I have to let go of that side and it was like growing for the position that I'm in at the moment. Yeah, I just finished my like postgraduate studies last year, and nowadays I'm Master of Engineering. I felt that I have to build my like business skills or getting this like business oriented way of seeing things. And actually at that point when I applied for that study and got in, I had an idea that I was like mentally prepared to seek next career move from somewhere else, not just in Actia. But luckily then the CISO position like opened, and there was this opportunity that I was willing to grab. So like few key takeaways. My point is that you don't actually need to have a clear plan for your career. So not all the stories are the same, and all the experiences that you have along the way, they will shape you, they will prepare you, and you will be ready for the challenges. But it's a matter of like seizing the opportunity or grabbing the chance when it's like presented to you. So So that's one way to do it. But of course, if you know what you want, then it's like create a plan, set up the milestones, and then I think it's important that you let others know that what you are aiming for, because when you speak something out loud, it probably will happen. But then you have to remember that if you have a plan, then you have to follow it, and you should base all your decisions to the plan. So stick into the plan. But I think that our time is almost up. So I would like to thank you all for listening and for having me here. So have a nice evening.
Thank you very much, Henri, for your presentation. It was nice to follow. We have some questions for you on the
Great.
Discord. So I think there's so many of them that we cannot go through them all. So I'm already going to ask you to answer them after this Q&A session on the Discord if you have time. So
Yes.
First question, I actually know the answer for this, but I'm going to ask it anyhow. Do you use Twitter? If you do, would you consider it to be a tool for your job?
I do have a Twitter account. Actually, 5 minutes before the presentation, the Twitter link was there, but I removed it because I think there is like 4 posts, and the newest one is from 2016. So perhaps I should consider to be more active in there.
But do you consider it as a tool for your job, or
no?
All right. So next question. How much do you view security as processes? There is this who is asking the question decided the CISO path is not for her because she is like doing the projects much more than running processes. So what do you think about that?
Well, it's of course like matter of how you shape the things, and of course it's up to what kind of organization you are like working in. But from my point of view, we have been like developing stuff a lot last 2 years. So we are actually doing projects at the moment, and we are building the annual clock and in that sense. But of course, then the question is that do you have to be the one running those processes, or could you like delegate it to someone else? But there's no like black and white. So of course there need to be these processes, but it's more like how you feel about those. But then it's like really important to understand that if you don't want to do that kind of job, as the person asking the question has already like figured out that this might be not for her or for him.
All right. So how would you describe the real power the CISOs have? Or are you being always run over by CFO, CMO, CEO, C motherfucking O?
Yeah. Well, first of all, you have to be like Peppi Pitkätossa, because if you have a lot of power, you have to be really, really careful. So that's like lesson number 1. But then it's of course, yeah, you, as I said, you have to be willing to make compromises. So when you are having these like talks with the CEOs or CIOs or CFOs, you have to be able to sell your ideas. You have to have like really, really good like pitches, making sure that all the relevant points are taken into the consideration. But as I said, from at the end, the decisions, they are business decisions, and I'm not like a business leader, but it's my job to make sure that they have all the relevant information available.
All righty. As a CISO, how hard do you find it to keep up-to-date understanding of the technical workings of the services or products offered by your company? And do you consider it important?
Yeah, in to some level, yes, of course. But as I said, and this also, of course, depends on the organization where you are working and what industry you are in and stuff like that. But as I said, I'm trying to be more like generalist, have the like some sort of idea of all the aspects related to the security, but then we have like subject matter experts who really know the technical details and stuff like that. But I understand that if you are in a company of like 15 people or 20 people, then the CISO also has to be like hands really on in the matter. But in a company like Actia, which has like over 800 people, and we are still like quite small, but it means that I can't be that hands-on on technical matters, and for that we have much better people working for us.
All righty. Then there's a question about your T-shirt. It's nice. Where did you get it?
Yeah, it's the best T-shirt that I have, and I think my wife bought it for me about years ago. But yeah, it's my absolute favorite, and because I really enjoyed being in this meeting, so I have to keep it because it gives me it's like the charm, making sure that everything goes smoothly.
Oh, perfect. Thank you very much. It's nice to hear that you enjoy yourself here as well. So about the comedy stuff, would you say that comedy is a useful skill for a stand-up CISO?
I would say so, because there are like different ways to like sell your ideas, and I think that using laughter or humor, it's one of the greatest things. And actually, when we were building up our information security awareness program, one of the cornerstones of that was that we have to get the message through. It has to be fun, and that is something that we have been aiming.
Yeah, that sounds good actually. So then something that I don't consider that fun. Someone is asking that they are not enthused about ISO 27K or similar compliance. Can they still become a CISO?
Well,
do you
I
feel
think,
passionate about the compliance stuff?
well, actually, my point of view is that we have to make sure that our message gets through, and like, I don't know what is vaikuttavuus in English. So, but we want to do things that have like this aspect of it's not efficiency or something like that, but making sure that our actual like information security level is going up, and let's try to do that in a fun way, and then the compliance comes through that. But of course, at the same time, I have to say we are building up our information security management system, and surprise, it's based on ISO 27000. But that comes also from the regulation. And if you have been following what after the Vastamo case, what like the government, what there has been this like study. So of course they are talking about like security frameworks as well. But I try to see things like making sure that there is the actual like cyber resilience or something is like building up, and the compliance comes after. So vaikuttavuus ensin.
All right. So thank you very much, Henri, for your time here. And there is 4 more questions on the Discord, and we would appreciate that if you have time to answer them. So after this one. So thank you very much for coming and taking a presentation. And we will have a few minute break before we continue with Anne.
Okay. Thank you.